to Daily Spotlight with Sarah May. This is where we talk about all things potential, your purpose, and how to unlock what's already inside of you to live a meaningful life and to lead in your spotlight. Because the truth here is that most talented people and most gifted people do not know how to turn what they already know into impact and income. And that's what today's Spotlight is about. Now, let me ask you a simple question. You were trained to go to school. You went to college probably. You worked at different organizations. You were trained how to work. But let me ask you something even deeper. Did anybody train you how to leverage your creativity? Who taught you how you can turn your ideas into income? Who showed you how you can monetize your mind? Now, pause for a second and let that sink. Because the truth here is that most professionals were trained to qualify only for opportunities, but not trained to create the opportunities for themselves. And for me, that's where I see the gap, because I actually experienced the same thing. You were trained to apply, you were trained to become an architect or whatever. You were trained to perform at your job, to build. And inside many people right now, there's something powerful waiting to be expressed. Their skills, their story, their perspectives, and their voice. For me, I call that your spotlight. And when you learn how to align these things, you don't just earn a living. You start to create impact. You start to create leverage and freedom for yourself. Your job may pay you for one skill that you serve to them. But did you know that your life has been built with so many skills based on your experiences? And when you learn how to organize those skills intentionally, that's when it becomes something very powerful. So let me walk you through a simple framework that I call the Spotlight System. It has 4 stages and it will help you turn anything from what you already know into something valuable. So for me, the first stage is what I call self-awareness. Everything starts here, right? Everything starts here. You cannot monetize what you haven't identified. Many people say, I don't know how to create something else outside of my job. That's not true. The real truth is you have not really sat with yourself to audit your experiences, your skills, the solutions that you provided in the past, and everything else. Because somebody is standing right exactly where you stood before, and they will be glad to learn from you in that exact path that you walked in. What are those things that you've overcome? Let me tell you a little bit about my own story. I once joined a tech moms group as a tech professional, and I was asked to volunteer to mentor a group of women. I declined it at first, and that's because I thought to myself, and I did mention to the person who reached out to me, I'm not sure I can do it. I've never done mentorship before. And what she said to me really struck me. She said, those ladies would be glad to do anything to be where you are today. That's when I realized that I have actually been through so much learning. I know so much enough to pass down to people who want to be where I am. And that's the same thing I'm saying to you today. You already stand in a position of authority where you can teach what you already know to somebody else who is right behind you. Because the truth is that there will always be somebody ahead of you and there will always be somebody behind you. So you just have to learn from those ahead of you and make meaningful impacts to those that are coming behind you. So think about it in these 3 areas. Your skills. Ask yourself, what can you consistently do? What your stories, what have you overcome or figured out? Your strengths, what do people naturally ask you for? The truth is your salary will only reflect one range of these 3 things, but your gift, your spotlight will definitely combine all of these 3 things. Now, the second stage is what I call synthesis, and that's combination, right? Creativity is something that brings things that seem separate into one, making it beautiful. Just the same way that we cook at home, bring different elements together to make a delicious delicacy. That's the same way that you have to be creative about your skills, your talents, everything that you've harnessed, your experiences to build a meaningful business, to create impact for others. Creativity is just connecting those things that look separate. So here's one important thing that you need to know. The reason you underestimate those your gifts and talents is because they come easy, they come natural to you. But guess what? The fact that it comes easy to you, it doesn't mean that somebody else is not struggling with it. Your skill that you have right now is definitely somebody else's gap. And when you find a way to harness and combine these things, you will definitely provide value to others. So here are typical examples of how this works in the real world. Did you know that those who have the ability to teach and probably are good at fitness, they could become fitness coaches? That's how it happens, because they're good at it. Those who like to organize and they have leadership skills, they could do things to do with consulting, right? If it is faith and you know how to communicate inspiration to others, that's exactly how people get paid. That's exactly how people provide solutions to others. Now, the third stage is what I call structure. This is where most people skip and miss it. If creativity without structure is hobby at a higher level, because you need a framework, you need a process, you need a program, you need a course, you need a model, something that turns what you already know into repeatable value for others. Because if you don't package your ideas and all these things properly, people will not be willing to pay for it. They may not see the value in it, and you'll be made to keep working instead of creating a structure that will make it run on its own without you being present. And now the fourth stage is what I like to call spotlight. Yes, you have to show up. Your spotlight doesn't shine in private. It shines when you begin sharing what you know. Now, let me clarify this. Your spotlight is not about fame. It is about focus. It is where your story, your skills, and your perspectives meet to provide impact for others. And when you begin speaking from that place, the right people will definitely find you. You don't need millions of followers. You need the right audience. People need exactly what you carry. They need your voice because clarity is magnetic. They need clarity. So allow me to reiterate this again. You don't lack potential. Most people don't lack potential. What many people lack is monetization blueprints. They were trained to follow instructions, not trained to build infrastructure around their gifts and talents and skills. But from the moment that you start building around your spotlight, your options begin to expand. So here is something simple for you to do as an exercise. Write down 10 things that you know that you do well, 5 challenges that you have overcome, and 3 things that people consistently ask you for. You just might be surprised what starts appearing on that list, because sometimes your greatest opportunities are hidden inside things that you already know and things that you already have experienced and have been through. So I'll leave you with this final thought. You were born not just to work, you were born to solve problems, to build something meaningful. You were born to shine in a way that only you can, but your spotlight only activates when you decide to use it. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. Just type the word spotlight if this has been of value to you. Because the moment you start to name that which is inside of you, you start moving towards it. And if this conversation made you think about somebody in your life who has talents but have not yet stepped into it, share this with them. Sometimes one conversation can unlock something powerful in someone. It has done that for me so many times. I hope today's spotlight has been beneficial for you. I'll keep bringing you insights to help you discover your gifts and live in your spotlight. Until next time, keep shining and keep winning. Bye.